Hello everybody. I am having some truly atrocious lighting. I don't think that's better. Is that better? Maybe. Is that better? No. That's a bit better. Bit better. Bit better. How is everyone today? Yeah. The lighting is just going to be bad. We're just going to have to accept that, I'm afraid. How is everyone today? I can see people. We have made it to Brodick. We have made it to the Isle of Arran. We've made it to our final destination on our adventure. Yeah, we're here. We lived. The weather is looking very nice today, although it looked very nice the day we arrived in the Lake District as well. And then things went a little bit not to plan. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. We are staying in Shore Lodge, which is in the grounds of Brodick Castle. It's very nice. We has bunk beds. I'm on the top bunk. But yes, we've arrived at Brodick. We made it across to Arran. Jill made it across the ferry crossing without being horrifically ill, which she lists as an achievement. And we're getting ready to set off tomorrow for the final mountain. Final mountain is Goatfell, highest peak on the Isle of Arran. It is a Corbett, for anyone who's interested. It is the highest. Hi Emma. It is the highest. It's not the highest. It is the least high of all of the peaks in terms of actual height from sea level. It is the second amount that we have to climb. For all, Gable yesterday was the highest peak we did. It was the least amount of actual climbing for us because we started higher up. We're kind of starting from pretty much sea level here. This is the only circular route that we're doing, and it is the longest kind of distance covered as well. This is a 15k route, although the route on the challenge for Gable is only 10. It was closer to 15 when me and Jill did it, because we did it from the campsite rather than from the pub. So yeah, tomorrow is, well, look, I've never done this mountain before. It's the first time I've been up Goatfell. I've been reliably informed it's very nice and fine. It is a bit of a scramble to the summit, which Jill's not looking forward to massively. I quite like easy scrambles. Jill's not so much of a fan. She's shouting it'll be fine from outside. She doesn't want to be on the stream, but she just likes shouting comments from outside of the window where she's currently vaping. But yeah, so we're looking forward to the walk. Also, probably one of the best ones in terms of wildlife spotting, because there's potentially golden eagles and buzzards and all kinds of things. And a goblin queen, although she is the goblin queen of Gable, so she may be the goblin queen of Goatfell tomorrow. No, Jill decided to. She's kind of given herself the nickname, which we love, which is the Goblin Queen of Gable, because about 250 meters below summit, yesterday she decided not to try and summit because one of her knees was giving her a bit of trouble, and because of we'd done a slightly longer route, she, in terms of, because obviously the challenge is normally done as a virtual challenge, she'd done enough ascent and distance through the extended route to still do the challenge effectively without summiting. So she decided not to summit, and I ran up the last little bit to hit summit and then come back down. But because if you haven't seen the pictures, I've put some on my profile. I'll be doing longer videos later. It was basically a cloud. The conditions on Gable, they weren't dangerous, but they weren't brilliant for walking. And it was basically dense cloud cover at the top. And Jill, where she'd sat, she was in quite a sheltered spot on a large boulder. And she was sat in this little corner bit of it, and she was wearing all black, apart from like a little red kind of buff thing that she had on. And basically in the cloud cover against the dark rock, you could just see her face, and it was a bit like, the moon on the Mighty Boosh. That's what it was, just Jill's face coming out of the clouds near the summit of this mountain. And these two fell runner guys, because they were dressed, they were in like cross trainers and they were moving pretty fast, ran ahead of us. And I let them, they summited not long after me, but they came from Scarfell direction. And they were like, I was like, oh, you go down ahead of me because I take my time coming down hills. And they did. And then they apparently met Jill as they were coming down, when Jill went, hello, just as a little floating face on the side of the mountain, and nearly gave them a heart attack. So yeah, Jill is now the Goblin Queen of Gable. And I know lots of people who've seen the update have asked about the man with no shoes. So in a situation that only Jill and I could find ourselves in, we came back down, and we got just down from Stretcher Box, which anyone who's walked in that part of the world, everyone kind of knows what the Stretcher Box is. It's not that far off. You kind of, it's about 2/3, and 2/3 of the length along from the campsite. It's like 1/3 of the route down from summit, but it gets a lot less kind of steep after that point, and everyone kind of uses Stretcher Box as like a way marker. So we just coming down from Stretcher Box, and this young guy, kind of late teens, maybe his early 20s, goes past her, and he's like, are we nearly there? Are we nearly there? How far away from the car park at Wasdale are we? And we're like, oh, you've got like another 4K. And he's like, oh, no, he's got no shoes. And we're like, what? He's like, my uncle, he's got no shoes. At which point his uncle comes trudging along with, well, the top part of hiking boots with no soles on. And we're like, what happened to your shoes? And he's like, oh, they literally disintegrated. So he's walking in essentially just the top part of shoes and socks, and we're like, no, right, on a mountain with no shoes on, this isn't good. Like, is there, like, we contemplated phoning for help, but we were like, no, you can't phone for help. He's still generally fine apart from having no shoes. And we're like, look, we're going to walk with you, because if you hurt yourself, which there is a chance you're going to do, to the point where we do need help, you need someone with you who has, one, navigation, because they did not have navigation with them, two, like water and snacks, which we had, they didn't, and a first aid kit, which we also had and they didn't, and the ability to get help and give them a good grade reference. So his nephew, quite young, cold, wet, wanted to get off the mountain at this point. So we're like, go to the car, you have the car keys, go to the car, go ahead of us, and we will walk him off the mountain, but you go. So he went off, and we very slowly walked. NASA from Derby, whose dad owns a very good takeaway called, Jill, what was the takeaway called? I'm trying to think of the name of the takeaway. Haroon's Takeaway in Derby, which is apparently a brilliant kebab shop. Yeah, so we chatted to him a lot walking down, because it took a long time to walk off the mountain, because obviously he had no shoes on. And then when we got within about 1/2 kilometre of Wasdale car park, Jill sat him down. I ran to the car park, because he remembered he had shoes in the boot. So I ran to the car park, located his nephew in car, told his nephew to pop the boot, grabbed his trainers out, ran them back to him. And whilst I was doing that, Jill had made him sit down and clean any small cuts on his foot with antibacterial first aid wipes, and put antibacterial cream on them to make sure they were okay before we put his shoes on. And then, yeah, we got him off home. So that's the story of NASA No Shoes and the Goblin Queen of Gable. And that was our adventure yesterday. I don't know what tomorrow holds. I have no idea. It could, but as long as we don't, I don't know how you can top a man with no shoes and your friend becoming the Goblin Queen. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, those are things that that happened. And they were fine. Everyone got off the mountain okay. And I summited. Jill didn't quite summit. She got very close. She did very well, but she did do the altitude and distance she needed to for challenge, which is fantastic. She is determined she is going to summit tomorrow, which makes me slightly nervous because if her knee goes and she's determined she's getting to summit, I'm gonna have to strap her. I'm gonna have to strap her to a boulder or something and be like, "You are not blowing out your knee to get to the surface of the mountain." Although I think actually, for all I haven't been up this mountain, I've had a look at it. I've looked at maps. I've looked at pictures and everything, and I'm fairly sure, even though the top of it's described as a scramble, it's fairly big, chunky boulders. I think she's going to be fine. I think it's going to be fine. And actually, once we summit on this one, it's a big circular, and the down route takes us like to Corrie and then back around the coast to Broddock, which is a very nice walk. So we are looking forward to it. We're both holding up pretty well. Jill's knee is a little sore. We've both got sore quads, but that was inevitable. Jill's knee's a little bit sore, but it's actually doing all right today. I'm generally okay. Again, slightly achy quads. I have got a little bit of bruising come out there where I took a bit of a spill on Idris. But again, nothing major. So yeah. And it is absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, we've already been up, explored the castle grounds. They've got like this cool tree house. It looks like something out of a fairy tale, and they have all these pretty plants. Pete's going to hate us because when we get back, we're going to be like, "Pete, we've got these pictures of some plants. We need you to tell us what they are and where we can get them." Yeah, so there's that. Yeah, and we're going to have a bit of a chill day on Saturday because our ferry back doesn't leave until about 4:30. So we're going to check out of here and then have a day in Arran. We want to go and see the Macri stones. There's a very old stone circle here. And there's a lot of history on Arran actually. It's been a bit of a been kind of used to trade blows in various Scottish wars with England, as well as having kind of Viking settlers come here, and very early on was used to fortify against Ireland and all of these kind of things. So it's got a bit of a history to it. It's got a lot of history to it, but we want to go and see the stone circle before we come home. So we're gonna do that on Saturday before we get a late ferry back. And we are due to arrive back at my place in Durham probably around 9:30 on Saturday night. Yeah, so there's that. It's been a good week. We've had very good fun so far. We've survived 2 out of 3 mountains. We only have 1 left to do. Yeah, and we've already found a really cool little pub on the beach, which we're not at tonight, rather sensibly because we've got to get up a mountain tomorrow. However, when we get back down from said mountain tomorrow night, pub on the beach. Yes, that's going to happen. And be very good fun. So yes, we did find a man on the mountain. No, Jill did not offer him cheese, and no, did she keep him. But we have been promised free kebabs if we ever find Haroon's in Derby. We just have to go in and apparently say the words, "NASA, it's us, sort us out." And there will be a kebab magically appear in front of us. So yeah. And we also need to do all of our TripAdvisor reviews when we get back. So like we're going to leave reviews for everywhere. And we've been in like obviously quite a lot of places doing the 3 destinations within a week. Also, for those of you who frequent the Lake District, Wasdale Head Inn now has Wi-Fi, like actual Wi-Fi you can use. We were very surprised. I was amazed. I literally, we went back to the Wasdale Head Inn for burgers and hot chocolate after we got off after the 8-hour day we had on the hill. That turned into an 8-hour hill day yesterday. And And I looked up and I was like, hang on, that's a Wi-Fi password. That's Wi-Fi. There's Wi-Fi in the Wasdale. So yeah, that was exciting for me anyway. So I managed to get out a short message from Wasdale yesterday. Um, and obviously we've spammed our profiles and things to death with photos today. On our private profiles, I will be putting up, editing together videos and stuff to go up probably on Sunday. Once we're back, once I've like mm, chilled a bit. Yeah, so that's what we've been doing. I'm gonna go now and I'm gonna finish this drink, which I inadvertently drank on camera, forgetting I was on Twitch. And I'm not gonna drink because I'm going out on Twitch on camera. But yes, I'm going to drink this, and then I am going to sleep in my very comfy bunk bed. We've got bunk beds. It's like being a kid again. But we decided I would take the top bunk because we don't want to make Jill climb anything that isn't absolutely necessary. So she's taking the lower bunk. Okay, guys. I will check in tomorrow night and let you know we survived Goat Fell. Bye.